What's this? You might ask. The Vango Radon UL1. My absolute wonderful summer tent. I've now got this Durston X-Dome. This is why I'm looking at this again, because I'm wondering which to take to the Lake District Summit camp on Saturday. Right, let's get in. Well, you can see you can open both doors, so so that you've got a great view if the weather's good. You can open both sides, but then you can on most summer tents. But inside, it's got a head end and a foot end. This is the head end. It's got tensioner bands across, which is a Vango thing, isn't it? They're probably brilliant. I just always have them on, so if it's windy, it keeps the structure. What's special, I think, and unusual are these proper pockets. 2 big pockets for 1-person tent and 2 handy pockets up here. Those pockets aren't saggy because the inner isn't saggy, and that's because it's an inner first pitch. Yes, people are put off by that. But the top of the inner is solid. So I've had this out in rain and it's virtually nothing gets in. It's quick to throw the fly over it. For the foot end, this tent is so neat, it's so simple. You can see how the foot end narrows and there's just one pole. There's one pole going down. And then you peg out the corners of the foot ends. The different panels there, the white being the solid, and the darker coloured one you can see there being the mesh. See, it's got the tension band again system that Vango has. That's what I like about this tent. I'll just lie down and point the camera up. Above most of your, where your sleeping bag is, and above your head certainly, it's all solid. So I just think that gives a bit of protection from, does condensation drip from the fly into the tent? I think it does, doesn't it, if it's just mesh. So it makes sense in our sort of climate, because Vango obviously designed tents for UK, don't they? But it's got solid on top. And also when you use it as inner only, I know it's not often you can do that, but you can do it much more often if you've got a bit of a solid inner on top there, and it gives that realistic flexibility, whereas just a whole mesh inner, come on. So that wonderful colour, that burnt orange, it's just so characteristic. It's the new Vango, and also it's just so good for our climate because it's a proper thick ground sheet. You don't need a footprint. It's a proper thick ground sheet, that is. Oh, hello Anika. Oops. Hello Anika. He wants to see what's going on. It's like a dog. See, it's pretty. I think it's got good looks compared to my Helm 1, which I think is an ugly thing. It's a really deep green, deep shiny green and burnt orange. God, I love it. Faults with the tent. Now what I do, I always set a tent arse to the wind. I don't want my head in the wind. So this is the back side of the tent. And it does have just the one pole, but that the fly sheet is attached to this pole by Velcro tabs all the way along. Plus there's a guy out point here. There's no excuse to think that's a weak point, like in a certain video. Right, now the side panel, this is a weak point. If the wind moves round to the side, look at that big old panel. Why on earth they can't put a guy out point halfway down? So what I would do, now I've got tarp clips, is to at least peg out halfway along that panel with the tarp clip and a flexible bungee cord onto the peg. That's the only weak point. And this is the head end. They say to set the head end into the wind, but does that look as aerodynamic? I don't think so. So this is the head end away from the wind. You've got ventilation there for your breathing to come out. Oh, a little weak point here. This flies too close to the inner. So again, I'd use a tarp clip, peg out, bungee cord, peg out. course I haven't got the guy lines on, but there's 2 guy out points at this end and 1 at the other end, and there's 1 at the side here, at the top at the side. On the other side, for when it's windy, you put the trekking pole in. That's from the inside. The trekking pole goes into this little pocket for it there. It's a 2-way zip on the Fly, which I do like. So you can open the top zip, and Vango give you this little thing here, which a little fiddly with one hand, but you can velcro across. You can just see like that, you can just got that small gap at the top. The other reason I like that little gap at the top is that I can peek out, see what's going on out there. Yeah, so sitting back in the tent here, of course having that trekking pole, you just put that up when it's bad, you know, when the wind's bad, and especially put it up overnight when you're not needing to get in and out of the tent. It's not in the way. You've got it in place overnight in case the wind gets up worse. The inner door has just a 1 zip. I prefer a 2-way zip, but I think that might be a bit niche. I think most people don't even think about it. Yeah, but this has 1 zip all the way around, bum, open. It's fantastic, the design, but it's not a 2-way zip. I like a 2-way zip on the inner door because then I open the top of the inner, so I've got a section at the top with no mesh, so I can look directly out of the Fly. Because as anyone who watches my channel knows, I'm very nervous of what's outside there, and I want to keep having a peek. No, not you, Freddie. Are you dangerous? I can see, obviously, you can see through the mesh. He's just illustrating the point. But it would be nice to see the top part without the mesh. And that's why a 2-way zip for an inner door is just the icing on the cake. Hey, Freddie. You like this tent, don't you? Hey, don't like it too much. Yeah, it's pretty good, but I can see how the Durston has got advantages over it in several ways. I forgot to say why this is so good for me, this tent. There's lots of 1-man tents that absolutely I cannot have anything to do with. Anyone who watches my channel knows that it's all about the head height for me. Oh, cat's under the ground sheet. Anika, get out, come on. Nix, what are you doing? Come on, come on. Oh well, so head height. So anyone watching my channel will know I'm all about, with a small tent, the head height. A lot of 1-man tents are impossible for me because of that. I need to be able to sit up comfortably in a tent and not feel claustrophobic. So I'm sitting right up straight in this tent now, and I've got a 90 centimetres sitting height, and this tent's 100 centimetres, so it's perfect. This is 1.4 kilos, and it doesn't feel claustrophobic. There's another reason why it doesn't feel claustrophobic actually, because it does have a head end and a foot end. That allows you to feel spacious and comfortable at one end of the tent, and you don't need that at the foot end really, do you? It does mean though that on a slope, and you always want your head up slope, don't you? You're going to have the door on that side. So say if the view is on the other side, that can happen. But, which the Durston, you can have your head at either end. There are several advantages that the Durston has, but I love this Radon one. So now I'm like a chap who doesn't know whether to take his wife or girlfriend on away for the weekend. What do you think? Who shall I take?